Hi everyone, Barry here from Mitosu. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for joining me for another instalment of our Funfold Friday series. Today's project, I'm going to be using the gorgeous Beauty of Friendship stamp set. Beautiful Trees dies, which is this one right here. Okay, and I'm also going to pair that with the Beauty of the Earth Designer Series paper, which again is a stunning set of Designer Series paper. So let's have a little look at these, shall we? So these are all in the new catalogue. So you've got, you've got lovely designs on here. You've got some nice, obviously neutral, arty, just kind of like a texture style paper. It's not textured, don't get me wrong, but it looks textured with the trees. So you get two of each design, and then they're double-sided. So you've got that one, you've got this one here. This one's going to be great for die cutting out some of the trees with as well. This one, got another set of trees right there. So kind of looks like your forests going back. And this one here will be perfect for some cards, because you've got some nice blank space here, so you can actually get some really simple topper cards out of this one. And this one's some nice wood. That one there, this one's going to be good for die cutting. I'm loving the next one coming up. Really love it. Really nice sky. This one, really beautiful. Love it. That one, I love the blue as well. I really like the blue, and obviously I'm going to be using one of the blue pieces, and this is a piece which I'm going to be using for today's project. I think this one's, it's beautiful. So this one, and the back side of it is this one, and it's typical, isn't it? Why do you always get one where you really like both sides on the same piece of paper? It's really frustrating, but hey ho, I'm going to use it. And I love it. So I'm going to be using both sides. So that side and the floral side right here. So the coordinating colours for this Designer Series paper pack obviously have helped me pick what colours I'm going to be stamping in as well. So it coordinates with Bumblebee, Cajun Craze, Cinnamon Cider, Early Espresso, Merry Merlot, Misty Moonlight, Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy, Old Olive, and Basic White. So if ever you're looking for inspiration or want to know what the colours are and you're stuck for colour coordination, Stampin' Up always pop the recipe list on their packets of paper, which is great. So I'm going to be using, I'm going to be using Soft Succulents, and actually I'm not using any of the colours which are coordinating with this. I'm picking my own colours, and Soft Suede. So, but it does help you. It has helped me with picking some of the coordinating, the matte and layer for this. I'm picking Merry Merlot as a matte and layer. This set right here, again, really nice trees, and this coordinates lovely with the dies as well. So you've got a die here which will cut out the trunk here, and you've got one which will cut this one out. You've got this one which will cut, just cut that one out actually, and then you've got the detail. This one will cut this one out right here, and then you've got a nice larger trunk, like you do with this one right here. So really pretty, and you've got some nice ones. You've got some nice of these, like nice simple rectangular dies for sentiment and 2 birds. So really nice, loving it, and I'm looking forward to it. We've got a class coming up with this very soon, so if you're watching this in May, then we have a class coming up with this at the end of May, so in about a week's time. So if you still want to join us for that, you can book in for that one. So any of our classes, you can go over to mitosucrafts.com and find our classes and events section, and we have all of our online classes there, and we have got all of our previous online classes will be loaded up there gradually as time goes on. So if you're watching this 6 months down the line, the live event will be finished, but the class will still be available to purchase. So you can have a little look over at that and go and see if you want to purchase a class. And you'll get a PDF tutorial and some recorded videos of all the projects as well. So good, so we're going to crack on today. So we're going to be doing a diorama card. This was actually a card which was requested to us, so I asked for people if they've got any requests of the cards they would like to see, and please email us, and preferably with a picture as well of something. So if you've got something in mind that you'd like to see us do, please email us. So again, barryandj at mitosucrafts.com. This was a card which was actually requested to us by Iniki. I do apologise if I pronounced your name wrong there. Iniki Van Dyke, I think it is. Yes, I think I've got that right. She sent us an email saying, can you please do a diorama card? And this is going to be my interpretation of it. Yeah, so good. Let's crack on and show you how you can make one for yourself. Enjoy. Okay, so what you will need to do is you will need to take yourself some basic white cardstock. So I've got a bit of basic white here. This is measuring 14.6 centimetres by 29.7. So for the UK and or anyone else who's kind of got the same size A4 cardstock as us here in the UK, it's the full length of your A4 cardstock. So this, I haven't cut it down at all this side here, this is just it. So I've just cut it at 14.6 down the middle to give me this, and which will give me a little bit of an offcut which we can use for stamping and die cutting later on. So 14.6 by 29.7. Obviously if you're in the US or somewhere which has smaller A4 cardstock, you're probably going to need to use 12 by 12 if you want to follow the exact same measurements. Okay, so again, 29.7 by 14.6. We'll need some designer series paper here. So you're going to need 2 pieces of designer series paper measuring 8.4 centimetres by 14.1. And I'm going to be using, obviously I decided to use 1 sheet of paper, but I'm going to be using it both sides here. So whatever you decide, but I want them 2 contrasting. So that's 8.4 by 14.1, 2 of those. I would also need another piece. This is going to be for the front cover, 7.9 centimetres by 13.6. And I will need some cardstock for matte and layering. So I've got some Merry Merlot here. So this is 8.4 by 14.1. And a smaller piece here, which is 6.1 by 9.5. Okay, if I remember, should have hopefully have put these measurements down below in the description for you. So good, so we're going to work with our basic white piece right here, and we're going to grab our trimmer, which is also our scoring tool, and we're going to do some scoring. Okay, so get rid of your cutting blade and we will do some scoring right here. So we're going to pop this in along the long edge, and I need to score this at 8.9 centimetres, 9.9 centimetres. Bring this out here. 18.8, 19.8, and 28.7. All right, so let's just go over that one again. So I put it in first. I had one at 8.9 centimetres, 9.9 centimetres, 18.8, 19.8, and 28.7. Okay, and you will end up with a piece of paper which looks like that. Okay, good. So this actually is going to be, let me just get my bearings now on this. I'm going to turn this around like this because I want the knobbly, I call them the knobbly bits, the raised parts to be the inside of the card. So this is actually going to be the front of my card. So what I also recommend you do is you grab yourself a pen or a pencil, and we just want to write now on this that this here is going to be the inside. So the middle part is the inside of the card. This part right here, so I'm just going to turn this over. So this is the inside. This side right here, I'm just going to turn this over though. This is going to be the front inside. This will just help you if you do this, so you know where to put your pieces. And then this one over this side here is going to be the front. I don't mind writing on this because I'm going to put my DSP on top of it, so it's fine. So now I know I want to start working with the inside first. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take my designer series bit of paper and I'm going to stick this down. So I'm going to use my florally one here first and stick this down using Tombow. So once we've got that one done, we can then turn this over like this, and I now want to start with the front inside. So again, if you've got something which is orientation specific, just make sure we're working the same way this is, otherwise if I stick it that way, my trees are going to be falling down, if you want to look at them like trees, that is. So then I'm going to do this. Now this one is important that you put glue all over the place. The other one I could have just put glue around the outside and it was fine. This one I need to make sure it's stuck in the middle because we're going to be doing a bit of die cutting out of this to create an aperture. So you want to make sure that you've got a good coverage of glue on this one here. So you've got it like that, and you've got it like that. What you want to do with this one is you want to grab yourself a die, so you can use whatever shape you want. And I'm going to be using the stitched rectangle dies right here, because they are again lovely for your stitch edge in both sides. So it's going to create me an aperture, but it's actually going to leave the stitching, because I've got the stitchings both sides of the cut line. It's going to leave the stitching also on the bit I'm going to leave behind and on the bit which I'm going to take away, and save that part because we'll use that part for the front, which is this one right here. So if I have done my maths correctly, it will be a nice fit for this one right here. Okay, so I'm going to run this through the die cutting machine and cut this one out. Now you're going to need just to give it a little bit of welly as you're putting it through the machine, because we are going through 2 pieces of paper. So we've got the thick cardstock which we're going through, and we're also going through a bit of designer series paper. It may struggle a little bit, so you may need to put a shim through it if it's not quite cutting through both of them. We will see. There we go, that's that right there. Okay, so we've now created ourselves our aperture for our card. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to then fold and burnish these, and then we can then start to stick these together. I'm just going to also just get my scissors and just tidy that little bit where it does tore just a little bit. Okay, so once you've tidied that up, we can then go ahead and fold and burnish this. So I'm just going to now fold this one in here. Like that, and then fold that one over. So you can now see why I used contrasting pieces of paper here, because one is going to be the top and then one's the inside. and that's going to then go over like this. All right, so what I'm going to do here now is I am going to just grab myself some glue, and I'm going to pop some glue along this edge right here. So if anyone's wondering what this is, I don't know, I must have had a little bit of dirt on our cutting plate, and it's transferred over onto the cardstock, but luckily it's transferred over into a part which is going to get covered up. So just clean your plates. Don't do what we do. All right, so I've got my glue there, and then what I'm going to do is I am going to, so let's fold that one over. I'll fold that one over like this. So I'm folding that flat, and then I will then go fold that flat underneath, fold that flat, keep that up against the edge right here, and then if you kind of like keep those flat, then that should hopefully, if you've got your measurements correct, that will then be in the correct position. Okay, and then once that dries up, we've got a lid for it as well. So we've got a front cover, and they open it up, and then they've got themselves a box card. So ideally, if you were going to give it to them flat, you would have it to them like that, so that when they open it up, it then forms the card. Okay, and that there is pretty much your diorama card. There is all sorts which you can do. You can do several layers on this as well, but there's lots which you can do. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to decorate the front of this card now. So remember, we had this part and this part right here, and we've got this part right here. So I just need to just tidy that edge up, and that one is now going to mat and lay it on this. So I'm going to go ahead and stick those down, and I can then stick that to the front of the card. I think the Merry Merlot works quite well with this as well. It's not a colour I use that often, but it's actually my favourite, one of the favourite colours of mine. It's a nice red. And I think that then pops off that page quite nicely, and then that there is then going to pop off the page. So you're using, it's very Christmassy as well, actually. This kind of style is actually it's kind of Christmassy. So this would actually make quite a nice Christmas card. It's not, but it would make a nice Christmas card. So I'm just going to stick this down. To the front. So I'm going to write front on this, so we know. It can go on like that. Okay, and then this one, and then all we're going to have to do is we're just going to decorate this with some of the trees from the stamp set. So again, I'm just letting the designer series paper do the job here at the moment. Do remember, you can purchase anything you see us using as well. And if you haven't got a catalogue yet, and you live in the UK, France, Germany, Netherlands or Austria, you can ask for a catalogue or order a catalogue if you want it in your specific language from our online shop. But obviously, if you don't mind it in English, then you can contact us. We've got a few catalogues remaining at the moment from our first order. So if you would like one, and you haven't got one yet, please contact us. So barryandj@mitosucrafts.com, and we will pop one in the post to you. So there we go. That's that diorama card. So we just now need to finish this off and decorate it. So we need to do a bit of stamping, don't we? So I'm going to grab there's a bit of an offcut which we had from cutting our card base, and I'm going to be using the soft suede and soft succulent, so all the softs today. So soft suede for the tree trunk, so tap that a few times, and then we can stamp that down just like that. And then we take our tree top and we work out what way round we're going to do it. So I'm using soft succulent here, so I'm going with one, and we pop that down like that. And I got my second one. Layer that over the top. Fills it in and gives it even more. So we've got a real nice bushy tree top there. So really, really nice. I did put out some of the polished pink. I was thinking you could probably put it in between to act as maybe like a cherry blossom as well. But I'm not going to do that. I think, did I on a piece? No, I don't know where it is. I did have a scrap piece which I tried it on, but I didn't quite like it. But it is there if you want to. So I'm going to now do some die cutting. So we are going to use this one for the trunk. I'm going to use this one right here for that, and I'm also going to take the sentiment as well. I'm going to get that one done. I will see. Will this fit in that one as well? It will. I will see. I'm going to do one of each of those because I want to see what works best with this particular setup once I pop the sentiment inside. So I'm going to do that afterwards because I will stamp my sentiment first. It will be easier to do these two. So bring my machine back in again. Now you could use your smaller machine if you've got that for these parts right now. But as I've got this to hand, so we just line this up over the top right here. And they cut perfectly right there, and we've now created our tree. Okay, so lovely. I tell you, the pressure on this machine is doing really, really well. And we've had it for a little while now. You can see by how well the plates have been used. And we're not experiencing any loss in pressure at the moment, so it's definitely, it still feels really sturdy. I do know some other machines which we have used, I will keep quiet on names. You do notice that things start to get a little bit loose and slack in the middle. So yeah, that's just something to be aware of. But I'm really happy with how this machine is holding up with the pressure, so which is great. So I'm going to use thank you. I'm going to stamp this twice because I haven't quite decided on what banner I'm going to be using first. So I'm going to stamp this twice in the soft succulent so it matches the tree. And then I'm going to either use that one like that, or I will use that one. Now I'm kind of thinking that I probably prefer the larger one, and it's going to be easier to actually put inside the card because it's on a layer, it's raised, it's going to be a little bit tricky. So I'm probably going to use the chunkier one, I reckon. Good, so we have this one right here. That's now had time to dry up nicely and to be able to open up and not going to affect anything. So I will take my tree. So we're going to need to just pop a little bit of glue on this trunk right here. Almost seems a shame to be covering this up, but there you go. You've got to do it. Unless you want a bald tree, unless you want a twig, you're going to have to cover it up. And we'll do that and then stick that on. Like that. You can see I just moved it around a little bit because I didn't want the twig sticking out on the top right here. So that's that. Lovely. Okay, and then let's just finalize this off. So I'm going to need to I'm going to pop this on like this. So I need a little bit of glue behind this here, and a little bit on the trunk down at the bottom. That and that can go down there like that. And you can do all sorts of this. You can decorate this however you like. Got that one. And then the idea is that we pop "thank you" on the inside like that. And we're going to put this down flat because obviously we want to ideally maybe post this flat. So, and this is going to be on the inside, so it doesn't really work too well as dimensionals. And then we can then pop this in the center. But what we need to do is you need to kind of make sure you pop it on the center whilst it's open like this, because if you do it like that, it's going to be off center. So you're going to need to try and get this as straight as you can, and then just maneuver this around. And get that in place. Like so. Then I won't use a "thank you" on the front. Well, we could do, I suppose. We can have a double "thank you." Could go down like that. Or what I'm going to do is you also have these little birds. So I've got some white little birds which I've popped on here. So we can have those as little doves if you want to. They can go on. What other sentiments are there? No, I'm going to go just like this. So we can have another "thank you" on the front here. We can have a double "thank you." So it's "thank you" on the outside. Now this one I can pop some dimensionals on it. As I've used it, let's use dimensionals. A nice double "thank you" card. So thank you on the inside. If we want to do one of these birds, we can just maybe just do one of these birds now. So a little bit of glue on the base, just to allow it to set up. And I may just take a little dimensional here and just stick that on the top. Because then we can then hang that like that, and then it doesn't sag. And there we have it. There is my take on the Diorama cards using the Beauty of Friendship stamp set and dies. So I think it's the Beauty of the Earth suite So what do you think? Do you like? So it's in the catalogue here. It's the Beauty of the Earth suite here. Okay, so page numbers 10 and 11 in the catalogue. Got some lovely stuff. So if you buy the suite, you would also get the 3D embossing folder, the bark embossing folder, which is this one right here. So this is a card we've done on a live recently over here on YouTube. So if you want to see how this is made, you can do. But this is what the 3D bark embossing folder is, and this is a hand pen suite, which we've done here. But you get everything. So you get the stamp set, the dies, the papers, and the embossing folder for $67.50 under one product number, or you can buy them individually if you want to as well. Do look out for the 10% savings down here, because most of the bundles, if they come with a stamp set and the dies, you can save yourself 10% as well. So keep an eye out for that one there. Which is saving you some money. So good. So yes, that is the catalogue. So if you'd like a copy of that, please contact us. And there we have it. So I hope you've enjoyed that today. Any requests for next week? I do have lots of ideas, but if you want to get your requests in, I will see if I can get around to doing it, or if I'm in a little bit of a pinch for ideas, it will help me out. So great. There we go. One diorama card for you, which stands up as well. Excellent. Thank you guys. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you again next Friday, same time, same place. See you later. Bye for now. Bye.